Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Lesson 66, reading a centimeter scale. In this lesson, we're gonna measure objects using a centimeter ruler. So you will need a ruler. So if you don't have a ruler that has centimeters on it, please pause the video and grab one. A ruler is usually 30 centimeters long, but if you notice, there's like a little bit of space on each end that is not, that is not like measured with these lines. So when you're measuring, don't measure with the end of the ruler here, like this. You've got to measure starting exactly at the edge of the line that is whatever you're measuring with. So in this one, it would be centimeters. If you're measuring with inches, it still doesn't go all the way, so you've got to make sure that you measure it starting at 0, right at the line, not at the end of your ruler, because this is giving you extra space that doesn't count, and then you won't get the correct answer. So each millimeter is 1/10 of a centimeter, as we have learned. Here are parts of a centimeter ruler. There's centimeter is this long. I'll kind of show you. A centimeter is this long. That's how long a centimeter is. So it's about is like the width of your finger, maybe. That's like 1 centimeter. And a centimeter is broken into 10 parts. So try and break your centimeter into parts, 10 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So each of those little guys is about a millimeter. See, not perfect, but about. In lesson 65, we learned to write lengths as the decimal parts of a meter. For example, 15 centimeters, which this line that I drew right here is 15 centimeters long. So 15 centimeters equals, I am so sorry. This is not 15 centimeters. It is 1.5 centimeters, and it's 15 millimeters. 15 centimeters would be this long from here to here. Whoop, I went a little bit over. It stops right here. My marker slipped somehow. So 15 centimeters is this long, and that is 15 hundredths of a meter. So 15 centimeters equals 15 hundredths of a meter long. It would also be like 15 cents if you were thinking of a meter as a whole dollar. It would be like 15 cents. So how we write a particular length depends on whether we're using millimeters or centimeters. Like how I accidentally messed up on this one and I said 15 centimeters. It really, really matters what unit that you have. So it's not 15 centimeters, it's 1.5 centimeters. And then to move to millimeters, we have to move the decimal over one more spot and it becomes 15 millimeters. And if you were doing meters, you have to move the decimal place over one more spot this way, and it would become 0.15 meters. So the decimal place really, really matters. And your units really, really matter. Example 1, write the length of this segment. So I'm going to show you the length of this segment is, I don't mean to keep moving my notebook, I'm sorry. The length of this segment is 2.4 centimeters, okay? So, and 2.4 centimeters, and that equals, so that's the answer for B, and the answer for A is 24 millimeters. Okay, and now here we have a number line. This number line goes from 0 to 3, and each number is broken into 10 parts. It's not a certain length or anything like that. It's just a number line. So from 0 to 1, it's divided into 10 parts. Because just as tenths of a centimeter can be written as a decimal number, so can tenths on a number line. Here we show a number line with the distances between whole numbers divided into tenths. We show the decimal numbers represented by 4 points on the number line. We have 0.6, 1.2, 1.9, 2.3, and 2.8. So if we were going to write these as fractions, which is what we are going to do, so we're going to name the fractions or mixed number that each arrow represents, okay? So this one is 0.6 or 6/10. And our whole number is 0 because it's not past 1. This one is 1 whole and 2/10. Here it's 1 whole and 9/10. Oops, tenths. And here it's 2 and 3/10. And here it's 2 and 8/10. It's important that you make sure you have your whole number to go along with that. Example 2. What decimal number is this arrow pointing to? So this is also divided into tenths, and it starts at 3 and it ends at 4, and that arrow is pointing to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th line between these numbers. Please, the decimal number is 3, and then how much after 3? 7, 0.7, 3.7, because that is a decimal number. If it asked you for fractions, it would be 3 and 7/10, but it didn't. All right, lesson practice. Right, you'll notice it's interesting numbers. It's A, B, C, F, G, H, I, and J. We skipped D and E. That's okay though. This is another number line, and it says write a decimal number to name each point marked by the arrow on the number line. So you have 0, and that is what F is on. And then you have 1, 2, and 3. And G is on this one that's 1 away from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. H is right in the middle of 1 and 2. I is 2 over after 2, and J is 2 before number 3. A says measure the length of your math book in millimeters and centimeters. B says measure the length of your paper using millimeters and centimeters. The length of your paper, which is this way, not the width of your paper, the length of it. And C says draw a 1-inch segment and measure it in millimeters and centimeters. Have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow.